Hi, everyone. Hello. I am Lana Quest, and welcome to the Quest Show. I did not have a show on yesterday, which was Thursday, because, of course, it was day 4 of the Democratic National Convention. So, who is going to have a show on that day? So, I'm here today just quick. It's a Friday night. I know people have things to do. I want to work out. I'm going to try to work out after the show, so I have something to do too. But I just want to do a quick recap. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. Not all, like the couple of new subscribers. I thank you. Please share this video. I'd appreciate that. And let's just get into it's so much. So every day of the convention, I tried to do just a short little video with the raw emotion. So now I don't have the raw emotion anymore because day 4 was last night. But there is a lot of information to catch up on. It's a lot. And I don't even know where to start. I'm almost rambling because I wrote some quick notes down and I'm like, the notes are everywhere. So let's just go here. That was the best convention ever for the Democrats. Shout out to, of course, not only the speakers at the convention, but shout out to the writers of the speeches, right? Shout out to them for actually getting the tone and the voices of the people that they were writing the speeches for, like Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, AOC, Reverend Warnock. If someone wrote his speech for him, that is surprising. So maybe they wrote the speech part and he wrote the sermon part, but just shout out to them. Shout out to the people who put this whole thing on, because typically this thing takes a long time to put on, right? We only had but a little while, because I would imagine they were planning a whole different type of event when Biden was going to be our nominee. But they had to switch it up when it became Kamala, and they had to switch it up real quick. So kudos to them for being able to do that, and also do that with her theme of freedom, right? Because that couldn't have been easy, because that's a new theme. What is that? All of 1 month old is okay, freedom. That's what it is. We got the song. So now everything is going to center around freedom and family. And that was so key. If you notice, it was Michelle Obama talked about her mom. Barack talked about his mom and his grandmother, and also his dad. It was about family, and that was kind of the kickoff of it. So let's do a kickoff video, since we're speaking about how they kicked it off, how the theme of the whole convention was. And I think as I tried to figure out, who best just encompassed the whole theme in their speaking. Of course, it was Kamala, right? Because she had to, but the supporting actors who did that. And I vote for Raphael Warnock, Senator Warnock. So let's listen to him. And maybe I'm just biased, because who doesn't like a good sermon? So let's check out Raphael. He really gave some energy, and I think his speech in its entirety really encompassed what they were trying to do and what Democrats really stand for. Here we go.
So that neighbors' children, I need my neighbors' children to be okay so that my children will be okay. I need all of my neighbors' children to be okay. Poor inner city children in Atlanta and poor children of Appalachia. I need the poor children of Israel and the poor children of Gaza. I need Israelis and Palestinians. I need those in the Congo, those in Haiti, those in Ukraine. I need American children on both sides of the track to be okay. Because we are all God's children. And so let's stand together. Let's work together. Let's organize together. Let's pray together. Let's stand together. Let's heal the land. God bless you. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
That was the theme. And to me, Raphael encompassed it all. Let's do all of these things together, right? Let's heal the nation together. Let's pray together. Like it's your neighbors. The same thing that um, Governor Walz was saying. Like, he comes from a town where you look out for your neighbors. That's what you do. That's what the Republicans are missing. And Democrats have always been those people, right? Like they've always been the people who looked out, who developed safety nets for people, who made sure that, children were being fed, who created programs to feed children, who came up with like, let's feed the children when school is out for the summer, which Republican states did not like that and did not take the money to feed their children of their states for the summer. You had Michelle Obama when she was FLOTUS. What did she do? She pushed for free breakfast and lunches in schools. Michelle Obama did that. So we have always been of the family, by the family, for the family. But again, we always had the problem with the messenger and the messaging, right? Again, we didn't really have the problem with Obama, right? Because he knew from the top, he knew how to message, right? He got us on point. And again, as I said a few days ago, Joe Biden is a great leader, a great president. The legislation that he has passed has been phenomenal, but not the greatest messenger. And we need a great messenger at the top. And that's what we have in Kamala and in Walz, because they know how to frame things. And then we can take it from there. Like we could just go running, right? Like, so now you've given us freedom. You've given us the hope is back. We've got that. So now we just take off with it. And Reverend Warnock kind of put it all in perspective for all of us. So, and speaking about families, day 3 was great because Tim Walz spoke. And like, not only did he speak like a regular guy, right? Because that's what we want. Someone who speaks regular, right? Because now that takes what off the table for the Republicans, the elite thing, right? Like, oh, Democrats are elite. Biden wasn't even elite, like, but they just kept throwing that out there. You can't really throw that out there now. Like, what are they going to throw that out there with Tim Walz? They're going to do that. He was a football coach. They're trying to insult him by saying, well, he was the assistant coach. Like, it's just so ridiculous. So, yeah, he came out there. He shared about his small town experiences, how they looked out for their neighbor, how his graduating class, high school graduating class, his only had 24 students, how the town that he grew up in only had 400 people. Like they were close knit. That's why family is everything. And that's why he and his wife wanted a family, but struggled with infertility. He shared that. The same thing that many women are going through now, or many families are going through now, trying to go through infertility treatments. And now it's being threatened by the Republicans because they totally don't understand women's health. And they don't care to understand because that's not the goal. The goal is to control. So if you want to control something, you definitely don't care about understanding it, because now they're like, well, she was taking fertility pills. So that's not really IVF. That's not IVF at all. Like, okay, so he probably got his letters mixed up because they went through, I think, intrauterine something or another. That's how they did it, and that's actually how I had mine as well, because I had to take fertility pills because I didn't ovulate at the time to do that, and that's the same way they did it. It's infertility just the same. Um, you still have the same fears of not being able to have children. You still have the same disappointment of, maybe getting that phone call and it's like, nope, not pregnant yet. Nope, it didn't work. Like, it's the same. And for Republicans to come out and actually someone's pouring their heart out and you're like, oh no, you didn't really have infertility treatments. Those are different. Like, that that's how Republicans roll. And he's up there and he's giving his speech. And then the football players that he coached came out on stage. It was, dare I say, all American? Dare I say that? It was just all American. And I'll be honest with you, right? As a Black woman and in the Black community, we know we are American, but the celebration of being American is oftentimes hard, especially when you have someone like Donald Trump running the show. But when you are inspired, when someone is making it okay and saying, no, you should be proud. You should be proud to be an American. Don't feel like that you shouldn't be here or that you don't belong, because you do belong. And one of the other things was, and I forgot who said it because there's so many days. I think it was Michelle Obama. That or was it Kamala? I don't know. They don't get to decide who the patriots are. They don't get to decide that. Who are they to tell you you don't belong? Pull up a seat and sit down. And that was the theme. And that was walls, right? Like, no, we are American. I'm a coach. I taught. These are the things that I do. Hometown values. I mind my business, right? If it ain't got nothing to do with you, mind your damn business. And his son was out there. And this is how you know you're a good parent. Good parenting. When his son and his daughter are just losing control in the audience and just crying, and everyone out there is just crying, you have some good kids and you've done something right. That's good parenting. When your kids are proud of you. Because if you have kids, especially kids between like 15 and they get older, like adult children, a lot doesn't spur them. A lot doesn't make them excited, especially about their parents. And to see Gus, and I'm going to stop talking about Gus because I'm going to let Gus show us how he feels about his dad. Wait, let me go. Let me go all the way to the beginning. Sorry.
And I love you. I'm letting you in on how we started a family because this is a big part.
This is a big part, right? He's letting us in on how he started a family because he understands the difficulties of infertility. And what Republicans are doing is threatening families, because in their thirst to control women and force them to have children, they're actually stopping families from having children. It's pretty stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. But because Republicans are ghouls, all right, and they did watch the DNC because they're haters, and haters are going to hate, and haters love to watch things that they're not involved in so they could try to pick it apart. Of course, they had something to say, right? Because of course they do. Why wouldn't they? They're the party that made fun of Nancy Pelosi's son when he was hit on the head with a hammer. They're also the party. Sorry, everyone. Hi, everyone in the chat. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I normally come on Thursday, so this is a new day for me, and I'm scatterbrained because this is a new day for me, and I wasn't planning on this. So anyway, yeah, but because Republicans are ghouls, they've made fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband when he got hit in the head with a hammer. Donald Trump has made fun of a disabled reporter. Donald Trump, I vaguely remember when he was president trying to cut funding for the Special Olympics. So these people they're just disgusting. So what do? Ann Coulter, right? Who is Ann Coulter? Nobody really. But she's a talking head for the Republicans. She makes fun of Gus, who is actually disabled. And even if he wasn't disabled, why are you making fun of a son who clearly loves his father? Why is that a problem? Why? I mean, Donald Trump and his kids don't even touch. I mean, I'm sure he touches Ivanka. I'm sure she doesn't want him to touch her. That's probably the only kid that he'll give a hug to. Pretty sure I've never seen him hug Barron or Junior or what's the one that they don't really like, Eric. Like, pretty sure he doesn't hug those. But I wasn't the only one who was upset about Ann Coulter, but someone snatched her right up. So it's nothing like a good drag. So let's hear a good drag of Ann Coulter because Ann Coulter is trash.
Demure, very mindful, very cutesy, but ever since I saw Ann Coulter say this about Tim Walz's son, who is the very last day at the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago, Illinois, and I feel like the entire week I've been very demure, very mindful, very cutesy, but ever since I saw Ann Coulter say this about Tim Walz's son, who is disabled, I'm going to say, fuck that shit. It's all out of the window. Man, fuck you, Ann. Don't nobody give a fuck about a woman who died 10 years ago and is decomposing and still dyes her hair with peroxide in the motherfucking sink. What the fuck do you know about raising children, okay? Childless monkey women for Trump. That's exactly what you are because you look like the Wicked Witch of the motherfucking West. They need to throw water on your ass to make you melt. We are tired of this shit. And as Michelle Obama said earlier this week, we're no longer going high when y'all go low. We're going to drag your bitch ass to hell where your unseasoned succubus ass belongs. Fuck you.
That's right. That's right. That's what you get when you talk about somebody's kid. Hi, baby juggernaut. Like, that's what you get. Gloves are off. Democrats aren't playing with y'all anymore. Jasmine Crockett kind of started this with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She started that, like, we're not taking your bullshit anymore. You're not going to run around and just do that. We're not going to allow that. Michelle Obama's like, they are going to attack Kamala. We're not going to let you. We're not going to let you do that anymore. Well, not that we really did before, but the lawmakers really weren't speaking up, but now they are. Now they have license to fight back. Like, in fighting, we are. So, yeah, Ann Coulter, fuck that. So, speaking of Jasmine Crockett, she spoke to, don't know which day she spoke because they're all running together. And she told a wonderful story of Kamala. And I'm glad that also the DNC really gave those personal stories. I'm laughing because, I watched a little bit of the RNC and no one could give these little anecdotes about Trump. That's why I'm laughing. Like, that shit's incredible. It's like nobody, no MAGA think that's strange that you can't give a little anecdote about Trump, nothing cute that he did, nothing saying like, we were at the homeless shelter and, Donald Trump turned to the kid and get like, you can't even do that. But here we have Jasmine Crockett telling the whole story with Kamala Harris wiping her tears away when she was struggling as a lawmaker to understand, like, why can't we pass anything? Why are they acting like that? Like, that's big, right? Like, she takes the time to listen to everyone. And even like, I don't know if anyone caught the D.L. Hughley when he was speaking, and he spoke about, he was spreading rumors when he didn't know who Kamala was, because that's a rumor, and I don't know how it got there, that Kamala puts black men in jail. And it's like, that's just, I guess it's easy to say, and maybe it's easy to believe, but and he said himself, like, he spread a rumor and didn't take a minute to just do a Google. And she actually invited him to her house to talk about it so that he could actually Google what she's done for the Black community. And now here he is apologizing because, like he said, if you're going to go out and spread rumors loudly and proudly, then you have to do the same when you find out that it's not true. You got to apologize just as loud. And that's what he did. So that was very impressive. Also, what was big was that you had the Republicans there. And it was like the Republicans that I know, like Adam Kinzinger and the staff secretary for the Republicans for Trump, they felt so warm. And also the mayor of Mesa, Arizona, can't remember his Giles. I think his name is Giles. Yes. The welcome that they got from the Democrats. It's like, you're home. We're not separatist. We don't care if you're Republican, if you're independent. We don't care. You're welcome too. And you're welcome because we're here for one thing, and that is to put country over party. Donald Trump is a threat, and that was part of the theme too. And again, it was so good to have Republicans there who could outline, why they're here, what we're doing, because you have to really think about it. I heard one of them say it. I think it may have been Jeff Duncan, and he was a former Georgia governor. I think he is Jeff Duncan. I don't believe he was there, but he supports Kamala. And he said, what will I tell my kids and my grandkids when they ask me, what did you do at that moment in time? How did you vote? What are you going to tell them? You voted for an unhinged, unfit, unhealthy, unattractive, racist, rapist, bigot. That's what you're going to tell them? That's who you're going to tell them you voted for over someone who is a decent human being, who, yes, you have differences in policy, but we don't have to worry about her somewhere talking about, ingesting bleach or, cozying up to Putin, selling the country for $1, as AOC said that Trump would do, because we know he has done it. Because you're not going to tell me you have the Saudis at your golf course with top secret things in your bathroom, and you just didn't say anything. You didn't say, hey, look what I got. You didn't say that. Come on. That's Donald Trump. He loves showing off. Of course he did. So, yeah, you're going to tell your kids you voted for that guy just because he has an R before his name? That's crazy. D.L. Hughley said, listen, Kamala's been Black longer than Donald Trump's been a Republican. He ain't lying, because Donald Trump actually gave a donation to Kamala when she was either AG or district attorney. So go figure that out. He goes where it's beneficial to him. Also, our friend Noah was there, and we love Noah. And I don't know if you all know who Noah is, but he's like a little 12-year-old internet sensation. He's all in on politics. He's all in with Kamala. He's all in, and he makes these videos because he's very serious about his business. So he spotted what's his name? Charlie Kirk of all people, the racist himself, and he confronted him. So let's watch Noah. Matter of fact, Noah, two confrontations. Noah found Charlie Kirk, the racist, and he found My Pillow Guy, who tried to disguise himself. Remember Mark Lindell? Mark Lindell said Noah is cool. Mark Lindell actually said, before the convention, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone, but I'm putting this on Twitter. Don't tell, though. I'm going to sneak into the DNC and I'm going to have my facial hair all shaved and no one's going to know I'm there. Shh. He said this on social media. Shh. No one knows. So anyway, let's, who do y'all want to see Noah deal with first? Charlie Kirk or Mark Lindell? Let's do, or is it Mike Lindell? I don't even know his name. Maybe it's Mike Lindell. The Pillow Guy. Let's do the Pillow Guy.
No. There was one down in Georgia. Get rid of go to paper ballots and come. Ask him what proof.
Okay, so hold on. They're talking about, I believe Noah asked him, why is he still lying about the election being stolen? I believe that was the question. If I'm wrong, just drop it in the chat. But I think that's what Noah was asking him.
You are. Go to paper ballots and come. Ask him what proof he has it was fair. Why? How do you know it's fair? Which election are you talking about? There was one. No. There was one down in Georgia. 3 Democrats.
I'm from Georgia.
Okay, there's 3 Democrats in Georgia in the summer of 22. She's a good friend of mine. She got 0 votes in her own precinct.
Who is it?
Yeah, so Brenda, I'm not telling you her last name on your stuff.
I see.
But you see. But let me tell you.
No proof.
No, the proof. They looked into it in Georgia.
Okay.
Crooked Brad Rasmussen, your Republican Secretary of State.
Okay.
He looked into it and said, oh, it was a computer error. They gave her back her vote. She went from third to first. She's a friend of mine. Another gal, Democrat, 4 counties over in Georgia. She got 4,600
But where's
votes,
the proof?
but she wasn't on the ballot.
You want me to take your word for it, right?
No. This was in the paper.
So what's your last name?
This was in the paper.
She's an elected official.
Okay, let me tell you. In Georgia, I will tell you, an Obama-appointed judge last fall, this case been going on 3.5 years. Alex Halderman, this is in your state, so you should be up on this. Alex Halderman, he's a Democrat, and he's also a cyber guy, and he looked into the machine, and he said there's problems. That judge last fall ruled, she ruled in your state. She said, we're going to look into this, we're bringing it to court, and the experts say there's problems, and she said, and if you question it, you're not a conspiracy theorist. So I got to take off my tinfoil hat. Now guess that, in her courtroom on January 9th in Georgia, now maybe you didn't see this in the news, maybe you're not up on things. Alex Halderman,
I'm up on your bankruptcy too,
Alex Halderman with a ballpoint pen tapped into the machine in front of the judge and switched the whole election in front of her. Now that case is still in Georgia. She has not ruled on it yet. That's in your state. You want to know more in your state? They just found 257,000 votes. This happened last week. A judge ruled in Georgia that are missing from the 2020 election. This just came out. You're behind.
So your source is Trust Me, Bro? That's your source?
The source. It's in your papers in Georgia. You need to read your news.
You haven't given me any last name.
You need to read your news.
Noah said, so your sources are Trust Me, Bro? My Pillow Guy goes, you're not up on things. Noah goes, I'm up on you had a bankruptcy. Oh my goodness. Lindell, why are you going back and forth with a 12-year-old? And not only are you going back and forth with the 12-year-old, he's making you look like a clown. Because how much of a clown do you have to be when a 12-year-old doesn't have to say too many words and he's still burning you? Like, what in all tarnations? It's like, yo, something's wrong with Republicans. Like they're on something. I don't know what Don Jr. is giving them or what whatever Dr. Jackson is prescribing for these people, but something is going on because that's wild. So let's go watch him talk to Charlie Kirk, which is not going to be as not as long. Let me see if I can find that one. Where is that one?
Okay, what's your question?
Why did you say that the civil rights bill should be overturned?
I didn't say that. I said it was a mistake.
Why? That's crazy.
Now you gotta figure it out.
I wouldn't be here. That's trouble.
Who's that?
So it's just as simple as that. It's like, and what's the difference? But I love Noah because he's going right to these racists and these bigots and these conspiracy theories, and he's like asking the questions like, yo, why did you say the Civil Rights Act should be overturned? Kirk goes, I didn't say that. I said it was wrong. Like, that's the same thing. Like, okay, so let's go to let's just go on to day 4 and just let's focus there, I guess. So day 4 was the whole prosecution of Trump. It was almost like it was in reverse. It was like we got a lot of the maybe evidence in day 1, 2, 3 of like how unfit Donald Trump is, how unfit the Republican Party is, how patriotic the Democrats are. I mean, they flipped that script, didn't they? With those USA flags, with that chanting of USA, they flipped that script on everybody. Did not expect that. Love it. Day 4 was like the prosecution of Donald Trump. And the things that I loved about it, and it was just me because I work in a law firm. So, I love the law, but the fact that they had people there telling real life stories and showing that this is Donald Trump's fault. It's because of him this happened. It's because of him this happened. That's the thing that was so beautiful. Like, the RNC couldn't do that. Like, they tried to, like, persecute Biden, crucify him, make it seem like things were his fault, but they couldn't do it. And number one, Trump couldn't stay on any script. He spoke for like almost 2 hours, or was it like 90 minutes or something, just about nothing. Whereas these were people that were there. You're talking about, prosecutors on the stage, and they're talking about Trump University, how Trump scammed elderly, poor people, stay-at-home moms who thought that they were getting a course in real estate, right? They thought, but they would go on, and what they were getting was people who weren't even realtors themselves, but trying to sell them these packages, right? It was like, and it was set up with like, say it was like the bronze package, and that was like, say $6,000, and then the bronze package you get like a whole book about real estate, how to be a millionaire, blah 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 blah, for $6,000. Or you can get the platinum plan, the platinum package, and that was like $25,000. Like, I'm not lying. Like, this is how he had these things set up. There were tiers to it. So you bought your package or your books or whatever was in the package, and they were also telling these people to open up lines of credit and credit cards to pay for this stuff. Donald Trump was getting rich. He settled for like 25 million, and that's unbelievable because I'm sure he scammed them out of more money than 25 million. But Trump University. So somebody from Trump University was there. Then they talked about what else did they talk about? Him not renting. Him not renting to Black people, putting the C by their applications for color. Right? They talked about that. Like, Donald Trump, this is what he did. Donald Trump, they talked about sexual assault or sexual abuse, him being a rapist. Like, it was just friggin' outline there. And then it was like the gun violence, the direct result of Donald Trump's inaction. This is what we get. Then they had like Sandy Hook teacher there, which was incredibly sad. She was a survivor. You had a Uvalde parent there, incredibly sad. And then you have Trump that was just like, nothing I can do. Nothing we can do. What are we gonna do? Then remember the assault rifle pins that they were wearing? Like that shit is wild. That shit is wild. You send your school, then they send your kid to school, then they're being sent home in body bags. These people are banning books, but they won't ban assault rifles. It's easier for a child. Easier for a child to own a gun, to get a gun, than to read The Life of Rosa Parks. How's that a thing? Kids, easier for them to get a gun than to read a book. You have Florida, thousands and thousands and thousands of books, just throwing them away. Throwing books away? That's unheard of. You don't even want to donate them to a library? Like you're that upset and disgusted with books that you're just like fucking throwing these away. That's unbelievable. How is that freedom? Freedom from what? How is that freedom? Freedom from what? Indoctrination? Like you're putting Bibles in schools. That's not indoctrinating kids? Because it sure seems like it. Back to the DNC. So they did prosecute the case. They had Sicknick's family there. So now we're talking about J6 and his inaction. And not only was it inaction, he lit the fuse, right? So it was just spectacular, but also sad and maddening at the same time. Because when you're sitting there and you're like, damn, they run down this stuff, and then you're going, damn, this is a lot of shit Trump has done. Like it's a lot of shit. America should be embarrassed that he can even run again. That's wild. He's a whole felon, but he's running. Like shit has to change. Like, I don't know. It shouldn't be like only 3 qualifications to be president: a certain age, over 35 and over, live in this country for over 10 years and be a citizen. That's it. That's it. So you can be a convicted felon and run? That's wild. How is that possible when you're literally going to get briefings, top security? Like that's a no-brainer. Like, I mean, I know they don't never expected it, but it's still a no-brainer because the person that's running should have to have some type of qualifications to be getting these briefings, like these top secret security briefings. I don't know, it's wild. But that's just the sad part, because like the list was so long. The good thing that it did was it really highlighted how unfit he is. Like he brought it back to the forefront, because people forget about Trump U. They forget about Trump University, that he did that. People forget that he stole from his own charity. People forget that he discriminated against people of color, didn't rent in their buildings. People forget that he said, I would never want someone Black counting my money. People forget that when rich people would come into, wealthy people would come into like his casinos, he would have like the people of color leave the floor. Like people forget that he did all of that stuff. We got to remember. And I'm just talking about like some of the people that are on the fence, not necessarily MAGA, because they know it and they love it. They don't fucking care. He's their man. He's the racism fucking Superman. They love that shit. That's like that. That's what makes him great. to them. But I'm just talking about the people who don't vote or who are on the fence. It's like, did you forget about what he did? So for you to be like, I'm not gonna vote for Kamala, how about that guy? Like, seriously? That's crazy. Anyway, so that I did appreciate on day 4. What else did they do? Al Sharpton. So that was great. And like just to have Al Sharpton and Reggie Al Sharpton and God, why am I missing his name? Anyway, we'll get back to him. Al Sharpton at the DNC was just amazing, right? Because I don't know, Al Sharpton has just been around for everything out here. You would think that Al Sharpton is an attorney, and he's not an attorney. He is a reverend. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. I couldn't remember Jesse Jackson's name. Just the two of them. When Al Sharpton brought out Jesse Jackson, who is from Chicago, who did run for president. As a matter of fact, Al Sharpton ran for president too. Like, these are the people who fought for us to have a seat at the table. Like, this is how part of how Kamala got there. I mean, on top of, Shirley Chisholm and a slew of other women, but, these men as well. So Al Sharpton also gave a sermon, and he's from New York, so he definitely knows Donald Trump, and he brought out the exonerated 5. So I guess we're not calling them Central Park 5 because that was a lie. They weren't. They were innocent all along. So the exonerated 5, he brought them out there to speak about their experience because, again, people forget that Donald Trump took out ads to have these, there were children at the time, children of color, have them executed. That's what, just off the top, executed. They were in jail for years. I think the oldest one was sentenced and he did 13 years before he was exonerated. But even when they got exonerated, Trump said it stands. What he said stands. Like, he still wanted it to happen. He did not care. Interesting thing about this is, how many cases in New York do you think that Donald Trump got involved with? How many? Why was it this specific one? Why these specific kids did he want executed? He wasn't talking about any other case like that. No, because it was the black kids. That's why. He thought the black kids raped a white woman. That was a problem for him. He wanted them executed. And then he doubled down after they were exonerated. But let's hear them talk about it. If I thought I had them. Oh no. I don't have a video of that because that would make me very sad. I don't think that I do. Oh no, I don't think I have it. Let's see what that is. No. Oh, okay. So I told you I was unorganized today. I ain't lie, because that was supposed to be my first video because I am from Massachusetts. Well, I was born in Alabama, but I'm in Massachusetts, and I wanted to start off with the roll call in Massachusetts. But that's over. Oh my gosh, I thought I had the Central Park guys, and this is Noah. Right? Yeah.
Why did you say?
It's all good. That's fine. But that's what happened. He did bring them out, and they did talk about Donald Trump putting them away. Hillary did speak. She didn't speak on day 4, but I forgot that I had her there. And I do want to play Hillary because Hillary is so special. And, something happens to these politicians and these people, when the pressure is off, it's like they're different people. And Hillary right now, without all the pressure on her shoulders, the pressure to run, the pressure to beat Trump, probably the death threats and everything else that she was getting at the time, she sounds great. And I love that she's just excited for Kamala. She's not a hater. She's genuinely excited. My battery is going dead.
Here at this moment, that we were here and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. I want my grandchildren and their grandchildren to know I was here at this moment, that we were here and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. This is when we stand up. This is when we break through. The future is here. It's in our grasp. Let's go win it.
Stop playing, y'all. Y'all feel that, right? Y'all feel that, right? We got work to do. There's no time to sleep. Like Wall said, you sleep when you're dead. We need to get Kamala over that finish line. Republicans are going to cheat. They want us to sleep. They want to suppress. They are going to try to do all the trickery they can. Get your family, get your kids, get your neighbors, get them registered, get a plan to get there. If you're early voting, do that. Start checking registrations. Make sure that you got your people checking their registrations, because we have to turn out in full force for Kamala. It's for all of us. She represents all of us. You heard her say Kamala for the people. She said she only has had one client, and it's been the people. So we have to do that for her. We got one job. We got the assignment because they gave us the assignment, right? They did. They told us what to do, no matter what it is. If you're, disabled and you can't get out, you don't got to go out knocking on doors. You can do the simple things. You can do the phone baking. You can do the postcards, right? You can just call your neighbors, call 10 neighbors, call 10 friends, commit and have them commit to calling 10 friends and have them commit to calling 10 friends. Yeah. You don't have to be out and about doing that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's too late to be poll workers and try to do that. There's so much that can be done. Donate $5 here, a couple dollars here and there. I mean, forego the glass of wine. I don't know. We can do it. We have to get there. Who's next? Let's start to wrap this up. So we got Hillary. We can't leave here without hearing some of Michelle Obama's speech, although I know you all heard it already, but let's just hear it again, because again, as we're going to close out this show that was a little all over the place. Again, forgive me, I just not organized and wasn't sure I was going to come on. The inspiration is needed. So let's get a little more inspiration before we close out into the weekend from Michelle Obama. And I wanted to put Barack Obama on here, a little clip from his, but I'm like, nah, we know he's good. We know what he has, but the secret weapon right here, this is what was nice. Let's hear that.
For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us.
Oh no, what happened? Let's put it back. Sorry, guys.
See, his limited comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this.
For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. Wait. I want to know who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs.
Donald Trump is imploding right now. Like the whole time, he must have just been like, just ketchup is everywhere. Like, because you know he watched the deal. He watched this. He watched this. He was cursing. He's losing his mind right now. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. Whatever you're doing. If you're out here on Twitter tweeting, keep tweeting. Keep going on Don Jr. and trolling him. Troll Trump. Troll all of them. Keep them on the run because they're running. Just like Hillary said, he's running. He's running. Guys, we are this close. What, like 75, 74 days? This close to getting rid of him. He put us through hell, and we have such short-term memory that we forget. And again, a lot of it is because Biden just wasn't a great messenger from the top, and we needed a great messenger from the top, so that's one of the things that we need to trickle down, right? The people at the top had to be fighters, had to be great messengers, so that it came to us, and now it gave us the permission to be like, phew, let's go, let's do this, we got this. From the Jasmine Crockett's, from the Eric Swalwells, all of them just out here, Frost, all of them united. And we knew they were going to work this thing out with Biden. And again, we have to give praise to Biden because he got to know when to fold, and he knew when to fold. And I'm sure that he's hurt, but I'm sure that he's sitting back like, wow, that's right. That's right. They were right. They were right. This is it. She's got a fighting chance, and he's going to fight to get Kamala there. He is. And don't be mad at no Nancy Pelosi, because who does that help? That's just crazy, and that's wild, and that's dumb, and that's petty. Nancy Pelosi don't give a fuck. She's going to do what's good for this country. She don't care if you're mad at her. She don't care. She did something that was unpopular. Not because she wanted to, it's because she had to. Because you have to think, Democrats weren't excited all along, but they respected him. They weren't excited because they knew that it was going to be a challenge for Biden to get over the old thing, although Trump is still old. But I heard someone say it on, I forgot which program it was, but they were saying the issue was that we as Democrats, when Biden thought was going to be the nominee, our fight against Republicans, against Donald Trump, was that, he's dangerous. He'll destroy democracy. Like, we were using terms that made it seem like Trump was larger than life. Like, when you're saying someone is dangerous, you're not thinking of someone who's small, right? Like, there's not a small, dangerous monster. You're never going to be like, he's so dangerous. Yeah, you don't say that. It's like, he's dangerous. So if we kept saying Trump is dangerous, it made him seem like he was larger than life. and it just kept shrinking Biden, right? Not to mention, Biden has problems with his knees, his legs, whatever else that. But we knew he was fit to be president, and we knew he was a decent man and he knew what he was doing. But it was the perception, even amongst our clan, our Democrats. Like even Democrats were like, I'm gonna vote for him, but I wish we didn't have these two people to vote for. Or I don't know. He's just old, like just not excited anymore. Not these two guys again, right? Like that's Biden couldn't break through. He couldn't break through, right? Because he just looked weak. Not saying he was weak. I love Biden. I love him. I was one that's like, he can't go. Stop pushing him out, right? Like I was that person. I was very upset. But then when it started coming out that we were losing in the polls, and of course we don't take polls like to heart, but again, it's the trend, right? So when you see in New Jersey that we're losing ground in New Jersey, there's a problem. Help, right? There's a problem. There's a problem. And that's the internal polling and things that Nancy Pelosi was seeing that we didn't know, right? Because again, they were never that excited, but they respected Biden. They were always a little worried about him, running again, but who's going to tell him? No one's going to tell him, right? So they let him go. So it was always like, but then once it was the debate was a part of it, but the debate and then the polling started really falling off. And not only was it the polling, it was the money. And not only money for Biden, it was money for down ballot. So now you're talking about the people who are in hard fights. Tester, the guy Gallego who's running against Carrie Lake. Like, what we can't do is friggin' lose the Senate. What are we talking about? We are in a fight for our lives, and she saw that. So it really took someone really brave to come out and start, putting that out there to him. And I think they said that she put it out there a few times, and he was resistant to it because of course she's going to be resistant to it. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But it also came out that part of the problem was that President Biden wasn't getting the real polling information and data. Like his people weren't telling him the whole story. And once he did see the whole story, he was able to make a better decision, and a better decision he did make. So thank you to Joe Biden for making that decision. Hey, Michelle. Yeah, I just popped on real quick. What time is it? Just to go over the DNC in it because I didn't have a show yesterday, so that's why I'm here. But the last thing that I did want to show was, again, because we talked about like what the DNC did show was Trump's weakness, right? Like we've boiled him down because we just talked about like how if you keep calling him dangerous and this dangerous person, he seems like he's bigger than life. He's a hulking, dangerous person. But when you start calling him weird, unfit, unhinged, crazy, unattractive, unhealthy, he starts to shrink, right? Because now when you think of Trump, you think of this little old guy now. He's just a weird guy. He's not this big, dangerous guy anymore. It's like, dangerous. I mean, in the back of our heads, we kind of know he is dangerous if he becomes the president. There's a whole bunch of dangerous stuff that can happen. But that's not how we have to fight this battle. We have to fight this battle with making him seem smaller than life. So I'm going to, Morning Joe helped us see the compare and contrast, and you're going to see how small and crazy and weird Trump really looks. So in closing, let's look at this last video. Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry, guys.
never let happen again. The election result, we're never going to let that happen again. They use COVID to cheat. We're never going to let it happen again.
They're just looking like, what the hell? I'm sorry, that was so low. Like I recorded from my phone on the TV, whatever. Yeah, he just look crazy. He doesn't even know what to talk about anymore. He's like, I don't know. They're teasing me when I talk about the sharks. They're teasing me when I talk about the batteries. I just don't even know what to talk about anymore. And what is happening with his ear? We haven't heard from any doctors. We haven't heard from anyone. Where's the reports? What is going on? Like, something is just not right there. Like, I don't understand it. But then again, can't make him talk about it. He's not the president. So it's not like the doctors owe a press conference or anything. So it's just odd that, something that large happened and it's just like, whoop, oh well. It's another day in the life of Donald Crazy Trump. So anyway, guys, we are at this point where we're almost there. We really, really have to keep the fire going, keep the hope going. We got this. We got this. We can do it. You notice Kamala, she's not out here saying, I'm a woman. She's not saying I'm a woman of color. She's just like, I am qualified. This is what I am going to do. You want to you want to get a house, you're a first-time home buyer, I'm going to give you up to $25,000 off. Yeah, I know you're struggling with your bills. You know what? I'm going to reinstate the child tax credit. That's what I'm going to do for you. You know what else I'm going to do? They had a woman on there talking about how she's been a diabetic since she's 11, right? To highlight what Biden has been doing for seniors, capping their insulin. Yeah, Kamala wants to do it for everyone. These aren't things that she's just saying. She's not making empty promises. Biden didn't make empty promises. Every promise, every campaign promise that he made, he kept it. If there's one he didn't, put it in the chat. Let's talk about it. Because I can't think of any. Loan forgiveness, that man was there too. He was right there at the DNC with his sons. Biden had, maybe you didn't see the video, but Biden had dinner with that family, that African-American man and his two sons. I think he's a principal at a school or something like that, who just had his loans forgiven. Biden went to their home just quietly. He just quietly went there and broke bread with these people because that's what he does. He goes to the regular folk and visits the people who he has helped. So billions of dollars have been forgiven in school loans. We know the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. And of course, Biden wanted to keep that campaign promise and found other kind of ways to forgive these loans. So Kamala's going to do the same thing. It's going to be an extension. And if, again, people, because it's not just about the presidential election, if she gets the House and the Senate, then she can strengthen voting rights. Then we can codify Roe. We can get shit together. We can get it. We cannot let, we're uber focused on the presidential election. But again, people, if you can go and look up, John Tester's campaign and donate to him, do that. Colin Alred running against Ted Cruz in Texas for Senate, do that, because it's like a virtual tie right now with Ted Cruz. So we need to be putting $5. Go on and go to his campaign website and go on and give Colin $5 so he can fight Ted Cruz, because Ted Cruz has done nothing for the state of Texas and nothing in the Senate. He's just a vote in the wrong direction, right? Because if you say, well, I'm not from Texas, why do I care? You do care because he's not voting with us. We need to get things passed. So in order to get things passed, we need to be the majority. So we need to get him out of there. That is a race that is winnable for a Democrat in Texas. We can do that. He is so close. Ted Cruz is a jerk and an asshole. Gotta get him out of there. Donate to that race. The veteran running against Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake, is that Carrie Lake? He's close too. Gallego or whatever his name is. We don't want that insurrection Barbie. No, we cannot let her win. No. And if you got another $5, make it $15. Marjorie Taylor Greene, what's his face is going, Sean Harris, I think his name is. Oh guys, so many of them going over there and donate to his campaign. Although I don't think he can win. Marjorie has a strong hold on her district. It is solid Republican. They love her. They're ghouls too. So he will probably have a hard time beating her. But Colin Allred going against Ted Cruz is a very tight race. And we could use that Senate seat. That would be great. So just think about that too. Those people need some love as well. It's been a great show. This is Friday. I thank you all. God, thank you guys for popping up in the chat. That is great. Thank you, Michelle, for coming. Next time I should have told you. I figured you were busy on a Friday. Baby Juggernaut, thanks for popping over here. Normally I am on Thursdays. I kind of like Fridays. They're not bad. So everyone have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.